the teacher started asking these questions. It's like, why do people give to charity? And people say, well, they care about children, they care about cancer research, they care about the children in Africa, you know. And the teacher was going, no, that's not why they do it. No. And everybody in the end in the class was stumped, including me. It's like, when why? Welcome to the Driving to the Rest podcast. This is Inelia.
And this is Larry. Just a quick note. If you're hearing this, you're on our free feed, which means you'll only get the first part of this conversation.
To access the rest, go drivingtotherest.com and subscribe to the Wisdom Keeper Hour.
Join us and our expert panelists for detailed insights and the after party where you're invited to join in the conversation. Head over to drivingtotherest.com and become a subscriber.
Your $8 subscription keeps this podcast ad-free and helps us keep the lights on and maybe even get a decent cup of coffee. More importantly, it connects you with a community of passionate wisdom keepers like yourself. So if you're ready to go deeper, join us at drivingtotherest.com and support the journey. Welcome
to another episode
of Driving to the Res
with your favorite hosts,
Larry
and Inelia.
Good try, honey.
I didn't try, I did.
Yes, today we're going to be talking about self-absorption and the new paradigm. And don't forget that we have a second part to this podcast for our supporters. And you can go to drivingtotherest.com to subscribe, support us, and listen to the second part with our amazing panelists, where we go really in depth about every subject that we cover.
Right. We have 3 or 4 shows, Ask Me Anythings with our panelists so you can get to know them better.
Yeah.
Understand why they are experts.
The panelists, yes.
So that's well worth it. Give it a look.
All right.
Okay, let's begin, yeah?
Yeah, today's episode, well, is based on an article.
I think we have a quiz in this one.
We have a quiz, so
Yes.
stay tuned. Listen to the quiz.
I'm assuming we'll be quizzed
Yes,
live.
and then you can see what your answers are and what does that mean. Okay.
All right.
Shall I read a little bit of it?
Definitely.
Okay. I'm not actually sure if there's anyone on Earth who is not self-absorbed. Anyone with an ego will have some degree of self-absorption. I did a quick internet search on the word self-absorbed, and all the results came back with detailed advice on how to deal with self-obsessed people, how terrible they are, and how you must run away from them if you meet one.
It's funny, I Google searched it and all I found was pictures of me. It was nice.
It was nice?
Yeah.
It was all about you, honey.
Yeah, honey.
Yeah.
It was. Just let you know.
Oh, that's amazing. Good job, honey.
Yes, I fixed my Google.
Despite that, I have yet to meet someone who is not at least partially centered on their own self, life, priorities, work, relationship, body, experiences, and the like. So, who are all these articles talking about?
I was wondering too, because I thought, like, if everyone is some degree of self-absorbed, then why are we calling it mental illness? And I kind of figured out why.
Oh, you did? What do you think?
Because if you have a prescribed illness, then you can prescribe a drug.
Oh, it's the cat.
So, of course, Google's going to say, yeah, no, you could be XYZ. There's this other one and this one and this one. And you probably should go see the doctor. That's ad revenues.
Okay, let's have a look and see if that's correct.
That's what I'm guessing.
Yes. I scratched a little bit more and found out that the words self-centered or absorbed are also used to describe a mental illness where a person no longer sees, perceives, or cares about others at all. In other words, a person who is solely and only centered about their own feelings, thoughts, experiences, body, mind, etc., to the detriment of others.
Right, to the detriment of others.
In other words,
illness is that.
Yes. That describe them as narcissistic, egocentric, self-serving, vain, self-indulgent, severely depressed, or conceited.
Yeah, we've met people like that, I'm sure.
I think everybody has.
Everybody has, but, to the degree to call it mental illness.
Yeah, when it goes past that certain level, threshold.
It's where it's harming others in exchange for being, like, indulgent of itself.
Yeah.
I guess that's where they record it as a mental illness. But, it's really probably other things for the
you
most
think?
part. Well, yeah, because a overactive, I guess, overstimulated, over prioritized ego is something that our society has worked very hard to generate.
Indeed.
So you're encouraged in
be
some ways
self-absorbed.
to be self-absorbed, to look
Yes.
out for yourself and make sure that you prioritize yourself first. I mean, you can't get on the airplane without that.
Yes.
You first, then your kids.
With the mask thing.
Yeah, the mask thing, right? That's somewhat self-absorbed.
Yeah.
I mean, they have a good reason, but I mean, I'm pretty sure I can guarantee you one thing.
What?
If that little mask thing comes down, it's going on my kids first.
Exactly.
And then I'll
Yes.
put mine on. I'm sorry. It's just not going to work the other way for me.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Okay, so although to be fair, there are also plenty of articles and papers describing self-obsession as an individual who will turn any and all conversations to be about themselves without any mention of a mental illness, but just a quirk in their personality.
Well, that's another thing we've been taught over time is to repeat back the thing that you heard with yourself in it so that you can make sure that you hear it properly, or that you make the story interesting, or I don't know. You went to a different school than I went to.
I don't think that's what they meant when they said that. You meant in your own words, not
How it
about
relates to
yourself.
you.
Yes.
Well,
Repeat that
it's so-
back in your own words doesn't mean make it about Larry.
well, it sure does.
No, it
I just
doesn't.
listened and it just said, make it about yourself. I
Okay.
just said that.
All right.
The way I understand it is that to some degree, relating experiences.
So, honey, I have a question for you.
matched.
It seems to me that you're very much identifying yourself with a self-obsessed
I don't know.
person.
We'll take the test and find out. I'm just saying.
Yes. So it seems to me like you're very much identifying yourself with a self-obsessed person. So what kind of person can you live with when you're self-obsessed?
I don't know.
Huh?
I don't know.
Someone who...
Isn't?
Right.
Okay. Good match.
What happens if you hook up with somebody who's also self-obsessed?
Absorbed, then you probably have competing absorptions. Yeah. What about me's?
Yeah. What
Versus
about me? You're so selfish. You only think about yourself.
Totally.
Okay.
This isn't down on Larry Day, by the way. Just letting
Do
you
you
know.
turn all conversations to be about you?
Yes. Next.
Possibly, but maybe not at a conscious level. And probably not exclusively, but perhaps yes, exclusively. Let's try a test. Are you ready for the test, honey?
First of all,
What?
that was the first question of the test, right?
Yes.
And I took the test without knowing I was taking the test.
Shall we start again?
No, that's okay.
Okay,
It's fine.
it's fine.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
good test.
It's a good test.
To
All right, if you're
measure
listening
your
to this,
level
measure
of
yourself.
self-absorption.
Yeah, you can
And,
measure yourself, your level of self-absorption by taking this test. It has 11 questions, just to let you know.
And try not to, answer in absolutes, but just go
Yeah.
with, what comes up. Because
Yeah.
honestly, I know how to answer all 11 questions and get the right answer.
Right.
But that's not what this is about, right?
No, and nobody's going to judge you or ask you
Well-
for your results. Actually, we are.
You are. We are. We will.
I want you to answer on the comments.
Honestly, how?
Honestly, how many you answered yes to and how many
Yeah.
you answered no to.
Right.
Okay?
Okay. So
In the comments.
that sounds good. Sort of. Well, I mean, we've all experienced it. You have a conversation with someone and everything is spun around to how it relates to them. And if your story isn't that interesting, then it's just a new story all about them.
Yeah.
I mean, if they have interesting stories, I suppose it's fine.
Interesting to you.
We'll see how it goes.
All right.
So on number 1.
When someone is talking,
Yes.
are you interested in their story or are you just waiting for a gap in their barrage of words to get in and tell them your experience in a similar situation?
Usually, you know, I'm not saying always, because occasionally, like, your stories are pretty interesting, so I'm not trying to think of how my story relates. But usually people's stories aren't that great, so I'm thinking about my experience of that kind of thing, because my story's better.
Yeah. What if I said to you right now, honey, I have a headache?
Yeah, I do too.
That might seem like a joke, but actually happens every single time.
Yeah. Not every single time.
Every single time.
No, half of the time. It's only half the time.
No, it's all the time.
It has
and if you
nothing to do
don't
with
have a
me,
headache,
honey.
it's your toe.
My big toe.
My big toe hurts.
I like I have empathetic pains, honey.
See, he's making it about himself. He's so empathetic. Okay, 2.
Okay.
Are you ready for the next question?
Sure, why not?
And if you're listening, make sure to answer correctly. Okay.
Yeah, so far
honestly.
I have. I'll put one in my yes column. Okay.
Okay. All right. Write it down.
Okay.
All right. Remember, there's 11 questions here.
Okay.
2. Do you ask someone how they're doing so that when they stop talking, you can tell them about your day?
Well, does anybody really want to know how they were doing, how their day was?
Yeah.
People ask that?
Yeah.
Just to actually hear what their day was like?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Okay, that's another one.
I thought it was just a thing you say so you could talk about yourself.
Okay. You know, something really
learning.
funny happens on a regular basis, actually.
Yeah.
I asked Larry, hey, Larry, how was your day? And he tells me, you know, about 2 hours of his day. And then at some point, he stops,
Yeah.
looks at me, like very, very, like, focused. And he says, and how was your day, honey?
Yes. Well, apparently you're supposed to do that too. It's in the direction somewhere.
And I'm like, why are you asking?
I'm interested, honey. I really want to know. And then I go downstairs and start clattering pants while you talk.
Yes.
What'd you say?
What'd you say? Can't hear you. Get down here. Wait, I'm busy. I'm coming upstairs.
Hold on.
A minute. Hold on. Okay, 3. So, did you answer that? Oh, Siri, so go away. Go away, Siri.
Your Siri wants to take the test.
She does. All right, so, number 3. Is everyone around you who opens their mouth to speak tell you extremely boring stuff?
I can't say everyone because you don't tell me extremely boring stuff.
Yeah.
That's why
Unless I'm telling you about my day.
Well, you know, it's not extremely boring.
Just boring.
Okay. Should that
Another
be a
one
yes?
is, yeah. Okay. I think that goes as a yes. All right.
4.
4. Are you concerned with your personal growth and enlightenment?
Concerned? What does that mean?
Are you focused on it? Are you like
Yeah,
putting
primarily.
attention?
If I had to say, was it focused on my personal or everyone's or whatever? So it'd be mostly, you know, I could say
Your
with this
personal
one,
growth?
we have a little bit of,
Learning to do? No?
you know, the podcast that we're doing, I'll admit it's your idea and I'm doing it, but it's for everyone's growth, but, you know, mostly mine.
Okay. That's a yes.
1, 2, 3, 4. I'm doing good.
Yeah. All right. And some people might think this is a trick question, right? Because it's your, but it does say your personal growth
your
and
personal
enlightenment.
growth.
And I think Larry gave you enough hints here to show you a different path to enlightenment. Okay, number 5. Are you a lone wolf?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love to be a lone wolf somewhere and say, geez, it would be nice if somebody was here to share it with, but I didn't bring anybody, so. 5.
Okay, 6. Did you try the whole service for others gig and found it to be BS and figured you had to take care of numero uno first?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah?
Yeah, because the other one, it would just turn you into soggy pile of turds, I guess.
Oh my
it's like,
God.
you have a given until you can't give no more. And then you have to give some more anyway. And then you do some more, and then you do some more. And somehow at the end of that, you're supposed to feel like, great, but most everybody blamed you for
Everything
that you did to help them. So, like, this ain't working.
Oh, that feels like a very detailed description of your experience. Do you have an example?
Oh, well, one of the things I tried to do in fishing was start a fishing co-op. And the reason for the co-op was so that everyone in the village could enjoy the same kind of benefits I was getting from marketing my fish to like better buyers.
Yeah, and we're talking about the Macaw Reservation here.
Yeah, and part of the problem was the way that the leases and things were set up for the dock. If you tried to sell your own fish, you had to beg, borrow, and steal in order to get your fish off your boat or get ice on your boat. They would just would not let you get ice. They wouldn't let you unload. And you couldn't use a forklift. You couldn't have a tow, and you couldn't, for any price, do it besides leaving your own reservation, driving your boat 12 hours one way. When, it's like, as a tribe, we own a dock, and you can't even use it.
Yeah.
So I thought if we start a co-op, everyone would have access, and everyone would be like able to take advantage of that process. But it turned out I ended up generating a something like about a 90-hour-a-week work job that paid $0.
Oh no.
For about 5 years or 4.
Oh my gosh.
So it kind of made my income go from like maybe middle
Tier
3, middle whatever now, like 300,000 or 400,000 a year to literally 10 or 15,000.
Wow.
It dropped it that much because I was at work doing co-op all dang time. You couldn't even leave it for 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, and at the end of it, I got accused of stealing all the money, which I thought was pretty funny since
You hadn't gotten paid.
It's like, oh, that was a good job of me. Stealing all the money for $0, and the tribe took it all back, and everyone was in an uproar and fired me, which is like,
Thank God.
thank you. Okay, yes, this is actually working out in my favor. Thank you. I didn't know how to quit this job. Now I know. It's yours. Good job.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so the service to others thing, it didn't work out too well for me. But I did learn, service to others. It's not the greatest path.
Okay, now 6 is a yes then.
Okay, yeah.
7.
Okay, 7.
Do you feel lonely anytime?
Do I feel lonely anytime?
Yeah.
It's hard to feel lonely when you got Facebook and YouTube, If there wasn't no Facebook or YouTube, probably. But then I got 7 dogs, so that's kind of hard to feel lonely.
Yeah.
So I guess I could say no.
Okay.
I got one.
One.
And no phone. Not lonely.
Not lonely.
I used to be.
Yeah? You did?
Yeah.
Oh. But you had like 20 dogs and 4 kids and
No,
wife.
I only had 1 or 2 dogs.
Yeah. And how many cats?
This one.
But you had kids and wife and friends.
Yeah, but if you spend the life of a fisherman, you're not home that much.
Oh, okay. And your deckhands were not company?
Well, when you're the captain of the crew have different lives.
Okay.
It's not like you don't hang out with them, because I did, but there was still a relationship difference,
Okay.
So I was a little lonely, yeah. That was one of the reasons I was concerned about my enlightenment journey.
Okay.
That kept me not lonely.
Okay. Lots of books to read.
So it was a yes, but not no more, honey.
Okay. Got it.
I mean, look around you. How could you be lonely with all these?
I know.
Everything's.
All right. 8. Do you continuously interrupt your loved ones to show them funny, interesting stuff you found on the internet after hours of surfing and scrolling?
It doesn't take me hours to find interesting stuff.
No?
No. I find it right away.
Yeah? Right
Yeah, I
away.
have a stash of it stacked up so that I can interrupt you right in the middle of writing. So that's a yes. I guess it did take hours to collect them.
Yes, it does take hours to collect them.
They don't just pop out for free. You have to spend your time.
Okay. 9. Do you mostly find conversations about your own life and self to be the most fascinating?
I could say no.
No? What do you find more
because
fascinating
my
than you?
lone wolf takes over that.
Yeah,
My lone wolf supersedes that.
yeah.
I find interesting stories of people's journeys to enlightenment, or journeys on sailboats, or journeys on trucks in the mud, or
Yeah,
I
do you
find those
relate
more
them to
interesting.
yourself?
No, because I don't get stuck in the mud,
Oh, excuse
and I don't
me.
sail around the world, and
Excuse me.
so I can safely put that in the no.
Okay, good. All right. 10. Have you given all to others and now it is time for yourself?
I don't even know how to answer that.
No?
No,
No? You don't know how to answer it?
no.
You don't even know what it means? Okay, it's a no. That's a no.
Okay.
All right. 11. This is the last question. Are you ready for it?
Okay.
Do you believe that your 9 to 5 job has to be fulfilling, satisfying, and something you feel passionate about? And by 9 to 5, it means the way that you earn your living.
No, I
No?
don't.
No?
I think
What does it have to do?
provide income.
Provide income.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah, that's its purpose.
Good. All right.
And I mean, if I enjoy it, okay, fine. I like it. But sometimes you got to dig the dirt
Yeah.
in order to get the thing buried. It's just the lot of the man.
Okay.
Pack the wood, chop it up, put it in the fire, light the fire, enjoy the heat, share the
Right.
heat. Yeah, so,
All right.
I could say no.
You can say no to that one. Very good.
I have heard that you should, and there was a time I carried that for a long time.
You did?
Yeah. But, it turned out, in my experience, like this most exciting, best thing that ever happened in the whole wide world, that didn't persist.
Right.
It became then it was the normal, and anything that wasn't that was terrible. And I mean, now we're at a place where, geez, we need to have unicorns flying around. And Sasquatch is sitting down for lunch with a sandwich. And they brought their own toaster and their own mayonnaise and their own elk, whatever they're eating. And they cooked it too in order for it to be okay. Well, that's
wow.
enough.
All right.
Right. Bar just keeps going.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll say no. Does I say no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I said no.
Okay. How many?
5, 6,
that
7,
was
8, 9, 10. Oh, I have one more in the no.
okay. So how many did you get?
I have 5, 6, 7 yes.
7 yes
And 4 no.
And 4 no's. Okay. So you're not 100% self-obsessed,
Self-absorbed.
self-absorbed, or
I'm
or
like,
obsessed.
70-ish% self-absorbed.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah,
I call
70-ish.
that a healthy amount.
All right.
Otherwise,
Of course you would, Dudley.
a reasonably healthy amount.
Well, that's not actually true, but
I was born in the time where the sun said you should be self-absorbed.
yes,
And, I work very hard to maintain that.
you did.
It's not an easy thing.
We have to actually also qualify that by saying that Larry's actually a Leo. So for a Leo, it's actually a very low percentage
Of self-absorption.
of self-absorption. Yeah.
Yeah, because I should
No,
be...
and if you're a Leo, you understand.
I'm
you're
a
the
little
sun,
bit of an
and you're the light.
underachiever because I have some cancer there. It's cuspy,
Yeah,
So that kind of moderates my
a little bit.
full-blown
Leoness.
Leonine.
All right. 11 questions that will indicate how self-absorbed you are. If you got 11 to be yes, then you're 100% self-absorbed.
Yeah.
9 questions is 90-something%, etc.
Yeah.
Like all questionnaires, the percentages are nonsensical and limited to the questionnaire and not really translatable to real life.
Well, in some cases...
However, the list does give a reasonable indication of where you are with regards to self-absorption. Let's take a look to see what this means when it comes to being a high-frequency being constructing the new paradigm.
Yeah, how does this even relate to that? High frequency or low frequency or whatever?
The new paradigm does not really create itself with self-absorption.
What does that even mean?
Because, in other words, it is not compatible with self-absorbed programs you may be running. Here's a little story.
Oh, I think I'm starting to understand. Okay, tell me.
Okay. I'm going to tell a little story to illustrate what I mean.
Okay, before you tell your story, can I tell my story?
Sure.
Because,
Sure. Because it's about you, honey, yes.
Because...
Tell me your story, babe.
Okay, I didn't wait for you to tell your story.
No.
And not listen to it so I could tell mine.
No.
I waited.
None.
Just
interrupted me to tell your story.
Don't forget your story, though.
I won't.
Because
I have it written down.
I really want to hear it.
Okay. I'm sure you do. Okay, go for it.
I was going to say, when I was proofreading this article, I had a really hard time understanding it. Some of these sentences just didn't make any sense to me.
Okay.
And this was one of them, so please help us. It's like, what is she saying here?
Okay. The shaman shack outdoor walls needed painting. I grabbed a can of paint, a brush, a roller, found a wall that was in the shade, and started painting.
The reason that you found a wall in the shade was...
to take care of my body. I can't be in the sun. I'm allergic to it. After about an hour and a good percentage of the wall painted, one of the contractors walked past me. He stopped and said, "Wow, you must love painting." "Why do you say that?" I asked. "Because you do it so well. That's the best paint job I've seen in years. You must be very passionate about it and love doing it." I felt into myself and found that, in fact, I did not like painting walls at all.
What?
Yeah. "No," I answered. "I don't like it at all." "Why are you doing it then?" he asks. "Because it needs doing. But now that I found out I don't like doing it, I'm going to stop." I handed him the brushes and walked away.
I'm sure he was happy for that.
Without the awareness that I need to like something to do it well or at all, there was no discomfort or question about painting the walls that needed painting. Once he made it about me, and why the only reason to do it was that I needed to like it, I wasn't able to do it anymore. If I continued, then the energies of martyrdom, frustration, and anger would enter my field of emotional body. As I walked away, he walked to the wall and started painting. Later on, I checked the work, and it was so bad it had to be done again. By him. I told him, "You don't have to like something to do it well. I believe in you. You've got this." I made it about him. He fixed the painting and did it well. This little story is here to illustrate how a culture and society of self-absorbed individuals is created, and how they are manipulated into doing things they don't want to do. Have you ever heard someone say, "Do what brings you joy and passion"?
Yeah, seems fine to me.
The likelihood that a person could find very good work if they never had that requirement that external items were needed for their happiness. Happiness is an emotion, and emotions are fleeting. If we look at work that is something geared for satisfaction of and happiness of the group you belong to, including yourself, and not something that needs to satisfy you and only you, the world opens up with possibilities.
It is true, but the corollary then that do something that you absolutely abhor is all equally untrue.
Oh, yeah, then you're going to martyrdom and the other things that I mentioned, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, you don't have to do abhorrent things to make money just so you can make money.
No. Unless the money is more important and gives you more satisfaction, then go ahead.
No.
No.
No. Because there's absolution in the yes side and absolution in the no side. I mean, how about we have some moderation? Like, do things that you don't absolutely detest and makes reasonably good money. Those would be a good combo. That's like, can we answer in the middle between yes and no?
I don't think that's going to work. I think that you need to add value more than just it's making money to whatever it is that you're doing.
Add value to what you're doing that's above and beyond your own self-gratification.
Yeah.
Not base everything on your own self-gratification.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you say it that way, then it does make sense to me.
Because even if you're full of self-gratification on a something that's fleeting, that's going to stop at some point.
Yeah.
And if you don't have larger reasons for doing it, you're going to start failing.
Yeah, and it's sometimes. So I have a short example of a little movie I just watched. It's a little something called, it's like A Red Dot on the Ocean, I think is the name of the movie.
Okay.
And it's about this 20-something young man who he went to volunteer at this sailing place where it took handicapped people for sails, and his job was maintaining the boats, painting them, and whatever. And they would supply the money for the endeavor by selling boats that were donated. And then the money from the donations would pay for the good sailboat that would like take the handicapped people for rides and stuff. So his job was basically fixing these broken boats.
Okay.
Which he kind of liked because he had a super hyper ADHD kind of type mindset. And without things happening, and it didn't care if it was good things or bad things, it's like painting the bottom, whatever, it didn't matter.
He needed to be
doing, or else he would go like
crazy
and do bad stuff.
Yeah.
So it was like his way of staying his butt out of prison, because he went to prison. He went to cell 13. His friend showed up in cell 13, and they were on bed 1 and 5. And then they got out, and 3 months later, he went back. He was in the same freaking cell, in the same freaking bed. And then a couple days later, his friend showed back up, and he got assigned to the same freaking bed he was in before, too. And it was like,
what's happening here?
This isn't good.
No.
We're going to spend all of our life sitting here, and this is a boring life. Because you can imagine how that is.
HDG and
stuck in a jail cell.
Wow. Yeah.
Destructive. So he started trying to make it a bit more about not just him. And that was his trying the service about others thing. And it did exhaust him a little bit. So he needed a bigger challenge. So he said, how about I sail from here all the way around North America, across through the Drake, the ice place, across the north part of Alaska when it's not icy, and then down the Bering Sea and down the coast of Washington and down the coast of Panama, down the coast of Chile.
How did he get his boat across the top of the continent?
He had to navigate the Northwest Passage in an ice-free, when it's ice-free in the summer at a certain time. There's
I
periods.
didn't know there was a passage up there.
Only sometimes it's open, but it's full of ice and icebergs and all that other stuff. And he's only on a 27-foot boat.
Okay, yeah, that's not that
all the way
big.
over there, all the way down the south coast, or the west of the coast of South America, Chile, and around that place that you
Cape
went,
Horn?
Cape Horn,
Oh.
and then all the way back up, and then to where he started, and he wanted to do it by himself, and not ever touching land on the way back there.
Wow.
All the way.
Very big challenge, right?
Like,
that's a massive challenge.
Massive challenge, and he wanted to do it to raise money for a foundation,
Wow.
So he got sponsors and things.
Yeah.
But his boat, he hadn't actually sailed it till the day he took off.
Oh my God.
And he wasn't super good at it, but good enough.
Did he do it?
He managed to make it, yeah.
Okay.
And when he got back at the other end, he was kind of one of those anti-heroes, because he just spent 300 and some days by himself on a sailboat, doing something that's ostensibly about other people. But when he landed, his boat looks like crap. Everything on there that could be broken, it's broken. And his needs a haircut, clearly. And he's a bit thin. And he was just the same guy as left,
Yeah.
It was like, now what? And he said, well, now what? Well, now I think I'll go get a haircut.
Is that it?
That was it.
Okay.
Yeah. But since then, he started a new foundation, a new nonprofit where he's doing ocean research, and it has a nonprofit aspect to it, and it's got a nice big giant sailboat that's really, really pretty, and he's doing research on oceans, so he has an excuse to be on the ocean going, and it's a bigger boat, so he has lots of people with him who also have jobs who get paid by it. So he made it a bit bigger, right? So he did learn something, I thought.
Okay.
He was the ultimate in self-absorbed to start, and he's.
Went to the middle ground.
I think he went a little past the middle ground into less about
Himself.
self-absorption.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
He did a pretty good job of it.
Yeah.
It's just I'm saying that it's possible. Even the most self-absorbed of us
Yeah.
can learn to turn that knob right. And his job that he did, after a while, 400 or 500 days of being all alone on a sailboat, I think the luster of it all wore off and everything breaking, you know.
Yes.
It's, Jesus, can you only imagine?
Can you imagine?
Right. Anyway.
Yeah, I think that's a good example. Thank you.
Right.
I'm going to tell you another little story.
Okay.
Because I was just waiting for you to stop, you know, so I could tell my story.
I know it wasn't that interesting for you.
When I was little, my grandmother, who was in her mid-80s at the time, was brushing the floor in the long corridor at my auntie's house.
Yes.
My auntie walked in from work and asked in a loud voice, "Mom, what are you doing with that brush?" My grandmother looked at her and said, "I don't
What do you mean?
understand the question."
Have you not seen this before? Sweep, sweep, clean, clean.
My auntie went into a lecture about how my grandmother's welfare and well-being was more important than the floor and that she should stop immediately and sit and rest. That my grandmother had done enough work in her life already. In other words, my auntie was making the situation about herself, her own feelings, to keep a clean house. She felt bad that my grandmother was cleaning the floor.
Oh, so you don't think she was cared about her grandmother?
Her mother?
Yeah, her mother. She was more cared about how it made her feel that her grandma would be sweeping.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because of what she said later on.
Okay.
You know? The sad part of the story is that my grandmother did sit down to make her daughter happy and never got up again. My auntie, years later, told me that her biggest mistake in life had been to tell her mother she was not to do work anymore. That her mother had lost her will to live after that had gotten sick after that. Yeah. And she did actually mention that she hadn't thought it through.
What she was, yeah.
She was more concerned about how she felt that she was being able to give her mother rest and a nice chair, you know?
Yeah, it's a little bit, it's kind of like that's one of the things, the alibi of a tyrant or something is make it about other people, even though it's about themselves.
Yes, indeed.
Like
that happens a lot.
That does happen a lot. It's like you pretend it's like for everyone's well-being, but it's actually to
your
give
own
you more power, your own satisfaction, your own...
Yeah. I actually learned a little bit about that.
Did you?
Yeah, in school in England, when we were looking at, I can't remember what class it was, but we were looking at giving to charity.
Yep.
Right? And the teacher started asking these questions. It's like, why do people give to charity? And people say, well, they care about children, they care about cancer research, they care about the children in Africa, you know. And the teacher was going, no, that's not why they do it. No. And everybody in the end in the class was stumped, including me. It's like, when why, you know?
To make themselves feel better.
Yes, that's
less
what she
guilty
said.
or less something, right?
Yeah. Just to get a hit of, I feel good about myself.
I feel good about, I've made a difference.
I've made a difference, yeah. And a lot of the ads for these campaigns say that, you know, you're making a difference. And making about the person who gives, not about what situation that's happening. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, you're right. It's like a lot of people will do things that seem very altruistic, but...
That's just their cover story.
Cover story, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got to watch for that, just saying.
Self-absorption is a learned mechanism of disempowerment and highly disabling to a high-frequency society.
Okay.
And co-creation of the universe. Learn more about it and take steps to moderate or even remove it from your personality, no matter how little you have of it.
So key here is you don't make anything about yourself. You just make it about more than just yourself. Yourself included in others.
Exactly.
Not all about others, not all about yourself. It's you included in everything.
Exactly. Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Which for most of us self-absorbed people can be
I remember
slightly challenging because it's like
when I first talked about the charity thing many years ago.
Yeah.
Somebody said to me, because it's also like a debt, you're creating debt and stuff when you give things for free and whatever. So they were saying, oh no, you know, I give to my charity and I work at my charity every week and I give them 20 hours. And so am I creating a debt here? So I said, where's your charity? It's in my neighborhood. Does it make your neighborhood better for you and all your neighbors? Yes. Then no, because it includes you. You're part of it. Right? If they said, yeah, I send $20,000 every week to somewhere else in the world, then there's some other reason for that person doing that.
So it's like there's selfish, that's like on the yes side. There's selfless, that's like
the other extreme.
And there's something else that includes you and the other.
Exactly.
The inclusive self.
Yeah, so then you don't create debt, and
you're not making debts, and you're enjoying the fruits, and the recipients also can enjoy the fruits and engage and support or whatever they like. So that's a interesting concept we can chew on for a bit. I think it would be good to have some more perspectives because...
Yeah, so I would like to recommend next month's class in focus at ineliabenz.com is called The Hero's Return. Other people call it The Return of the Hero, right? So I've called it both.
Yes.
So it's one or the other. It's got that name. And it talks a lot about that, about how our energy to want to help is here with us, but how it can be easily hijacked into making things worse for us. It lowers frequencies on the planet rather than raise them. And how do you make sure that you're actually helping yourself and others in this universe to create it into a really light universe. And why is self-absorption not compatible with creating a new paradigm? Because the whole illusion of separation is only useful for the dark side of the light-dark paradigm. Once you remove the illusion of separation, then you'd be able to create a world that is amazing and huge, not limited and tiny just about the person,
Yeah, that does make it for a small universe.
It does.
I mean, you can only think of so many things about you. Yeah. So how about we join our panel?
Yes, let's see what
they have to think about this.
Yes.
I'm curious.
Me too.
I want to see how they pass this test.
Yes.
I'm sure they're going to outshine me because it's about me.
It's all about Larry. Yeah. Yes.
Let's see how I compare.
Yes, let's see how you compare, honey.
Okay. See ya.
See you next. See you in a few minutes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Love you.
I love you too, darling.
And we're here. Hi, Larry. Hi, Inelia.
Hi.
Today we were talking about Larry. Just kidding. We were talking about
Larry like that.
we were talking about self-absorption and the new paradigm. I'm Ashley Swale. I'm a yoga teacher. I'm a mystic. I'm co-founder of iBenz Academy, and I'm also an iBenz Method mentor.
Hi, I'm Ileana Rojero. I'm a mystic, architect, and psychic meditation teacher.
Yay! So the gang, we're short 2 of our folks today, but we will carry on, even though it does feel a little bit like we have a couple flat tires, but we're still got our equilibrium. We're good. So the first question we have is we want to hear everybody's scores. And Inelia, we didn't hear any scores from you on the question.
I know, right? Yeah.
Did everyone write their scores down?
Well, the only reason we didn't do her also is because we were out of time and we'd been talking about me, so
it happens. It
seemed like a good place to stop.
Yeah. When it's really that good, you just leave it there.
I guess we're on the same page. Well, I guess we could take the quiz with you all. That might be fun.
Let's
keep
do
track
it.
of your scores, and maybe we'll do Inelia's this time.
Maybe. If we have
If
time.
anybody's curious.
Join us for the rest of this conversation at driveintotheres.com.
And when you go to driveintotheres.com and you join in the rest of the show, rest of the second hour, you also get to join in the after party. 9 o'clock on Fridays, we all get together, including you.